I wanted to show you this Slayer team that I've been using to level my tier 5s. We're just using the two Slayers, the Gyro and the Umbra, and we're able to carry 6 tier 5 stage 1 Illuvials. I thought as I was demonstrating this, I may as well also try level a Scarabok all the way to the Titanor, with all the Scarabocks being on basically 0 experience, so we're going to get full evolution in one run. Now there has been some updates to the game. I'll run through them as we go. This is a lot easier now because the encounter costs have reduced to 300 and I have the 2 drone chips that give me a total of 40% reduction on the encounter cost, so they're only 180. I can fit 22 encounters in the one run. This will only take 12 to 14 depending if I run out of flint cap, but this was possible before the update. With the 2 drone chips you could fit exactly 12 runs in. I'll explain the Slayer team, some of the updates, and we'll see if we can level the Scarabok all the way to the Titanor. We got the full front line of Scaraboks. They're all going to have flint cap on them, and then we're bonding the Ranger to the Gyro with the Earth Sword. This is going to give us Slayer and Dust. Slayer gives us 20% crit chance, and then when they land at the start of combat they're going to get 50% attack speed for 5 seconds. Every time they get a kill they'll get 25% attack speed. And the reason this seems to be the best 2-man carry, because it scales so well with Gumbo Drop. Gumbo Drop gives us 80 attack damage and the 60 attack speed, so this obviously scales with crit, but also the attack speed boost from Slayer is really good. The fact we can assassinate anyone we want because they are rogues, they jump to the back line, and the Umbra has a de-aggro on his Omega, so he damages 3 nearest targets but he drops aggro. The Gyro will be Omegaing around, backing at range and keeping pretty safe with his Omega. He will also blind anyone around him when he Omegas, and then also blinds where he lands, which is quite strong. You'll see their damage is pretty insane as well. The full flint cap on the front line. When I was testing this yesterday, I was getting 800 per encounter, but the update now, we have the ethereals on the main game. So you'll notice there's only 3 fully colored non-ethereal Illuvials. These are the only ones we can catch. See if it makes a difference to how much experience we get per encounter. Let's get started. They do have physical resistance, which makes this a little bit more difficult because we're all physical damage. But look at the damage charts. Maybe we'll keep an eye on who wins. It's about 50-50 usually. See the Umbra. Oh, my Gyro just got stunned, which is fine. The sound's a bit off. Yeah, I suspect this might actually be easier now with the ethereals. Because they're stronger, there's less Illuvials on the board. So if we check the experience after 1 encounter, we got 732, so a little bit less than what I was testing yesterday before the update. If you're trying to build this team, Umbra is a tier 4, so you may not have this yet. If you don't have a Gyro, I do have a couple extra to give away, and as I catch more, I can give away more. But if you leave your wallet link down below, if you don't have one already, I can send you one if I have any left. If you appreciate that, make sure to like and subscribe. And I would suggest you could use 2 Gyros in the same team if you don't have the Umbra, and then maybe have a Rake and a Dash. Stage 1 and 2 version of the Umbra, just for leveling. 2 Gyros, you only get 2 Slayer, but they honestly might be even a little bit better than having the Umbra. That'll go a long way to carrying the team. You'll have more dust procs, and yeah, I think the Gyro may even be a little bit better despite only being a tier 1. But the Umbra seems quite rare, so I would suggest leveling. If you're trying to get to an Umbra, level the Rake and the Dash at the same time. What have they got here? Crit amp, increased damage. So it can be a pretty nasty combo, but they don't have much defensive stats, so we just shoot through everything. Same setup again. This one should be fairly easy as well by the looks of it. The other update, they fixed the capture rate bug, so the capture rate now displays properly. They've also changed the spawn rate of the links, so I'm assuming, yeah, the fully evolved links was spawning a bit too much, so they've changed that. But if we can take out this Ferriox and the Ripelance, again, I think this one will be pretty easy. They do have the physical resistance, but not any damage multipliers. So yeah, capture rate's fixed. Link spawn rate has changed. They did update the Master Shards to now use Solon and 800 Shard Dust, so hopefully you've got a stockpile of Master Shards because they're a little bit harder now. They kind of seem to be a lot easier now with just the ethereals, just the less encounters on the board. But they do have the physical resist on this one, and attack damage. little bit harder, but still fairly comfortable. Encounter number 6, and it does look like we've got the fatigue already coming in. I've noticed the fatigue, it must be off damage taken because my slayers don't build it up nearly as fast. So if you're going to do this, we're going to need the ring nuts to restore fatigue. It starts off with a 20 attack speed reduction, but eventually you won't even be able to play these on the board. So we'll just use a couple of these. These are instantly consumed, so I can place them there. That will restore their fatigue, or it's called shard integrity. Then I can place the flint caps on. That should have worked to restore their integrity. And a bonus squiz to catch here, and if I can take out this side, it should be again fairly easy. I think I've dodge chance on the heal per second can be difficult sometimes if they have other good mods with them, but not in this case. I am probably going to run out of flint cap because I saved up 72 before the update, and that's all I needed for the 12 encounters, but it means we might have to do a few extra encounters, which we can definitely fit in. I just quickly did the maths, and I can fit in 22 encounters, not including the Ergon Rifts. So I can easily get to the Titanor. Yeah, I can get well past the Titanor within one run, but I will run out of flint cap, so maybe I'll end up needing to do a couple more. And hopefully we got enough ring nut as well to restore the shard integrity. See how long the blind lasts from the gyro. I'll just show you, you can restore the shard integrity from your inventory. So you can see my slayers, they're now fatigued. So I'm just going to restore that integrity from here. You just drag and drop the ring nuts, and you can see it restored their shark integrity. That's the blue bar there. I think this is encounter 8 or 9, maybe 10. So you might be wondering, how good is this in PvP? And slayers haven't been really that good, other than when they're mixed with revenant in one of the patches. But the main reason is because the damage and the teams they fit into aren't that good, and the reason it's so good right now is because they have items. So they're really relying on items, and we've explained before, it's just because it scales so well with Slayer, with the multipliers. Not to mention in PvP, it's really hard to protect your rogues, so the opponent can set up to basically assassinate your rogues. It's hard to protect them. Okay, this one might be a little bit harder. They've got more Illuvials on the board, a mega power, attack damage, and the heal per second can sometimes be a problem. Still relatively easy. Encounter number 10, and we'll check the experience after this encounter. Let's do it. I've got a lot of rogues. I've actually got a lot of buffs. I've even got Revenant, 5 rogues, Earth, Fire, Air. Their encounter mods weren't that great, just the attack damage. After 10 encounters, we've gained 8,244, so it would mean 824 per encounter on average. Either I've miscalculated how many encounters we've done, or actually getting a little bit more on some of the encounters. It seems like you definitely get more if there's more Illuvials on the board. It would explain why before the update, without the Ethereals, I was getting more experience. So there is some variation. It's around 740 to, I guess, 850 experience, or I've miscalculated how many encounters I've done. So that means we're already at 49,500 experience. So already we haven't even spent half our energy for the run, and we're already at about 50k experience, so we only need another 7,000. See how fast it is to level. This doesn't include how long it's taken to farm the flint cap. I just spent maybe a few hours farming them, just one afternoon. This one run hasn't taken that long, and obviously you need to catch 9 Scarabox, so there's that as well. But leveling, I know a lot of people complain it kind of feels slow. It feels slow if you're not using flint cap and you're not leveling multiple of them. So I'm leveling 6 of them right now. Sometimes you only have 1 or 2 in your team, and then it feels a little bit slower. And the team is also going to put through updates that makes leveling more obvious when you do it, so it just feels better. I would like to see them put more emphasis on the levels, or I guess more meaning, because at the moment they don't give you any extra stats, they're purely just for fusing. But the team's very aware of this, and it's obviously something they're working on, or maybe already have done, and they're just waiting for another update. But you will also be able to level in other games. So for example, the PvP arena, you'll be able to level your Illuvials there. And this is getting very close. I need one more and I've lost. Wow, okay. Okay, so it was feeling quite easy until then, and I didn't see the encounter mods. I've streamed this team for 2 days and I've lost one game, so that's the second encounter I've lost with this team. But obviously we're using 6 Illuvials that we're trying to level, and there's no variety in the hyper, so we're very heavy on Earth. Usually when I'm leveling a variety of different tier 5s that provide a bit more utility than the Scarabocks, and the hyper is a bit more diversified. And also, if you're not using 100% flick cap and use better consumables, it obviously makes these encounters a bit easier. So we are doing this on hard mode, only using the 2 consumables and the 2 carry Illuvials. Thankfully we're going to have a lot of energy to spare, so the leveling shouldn't be a problem, other than we are going to run out of flint cap. So I'm going to have to do some extra encounters without the flint cap, but we've got plenty of energy to do that. We don't run out of shard integrity with the ring nuts, because we're going through them quite quickly as well. And you don't gain XP from losing either, if you didn't already know. And my slayers, I didn't realise they have the shard integrity reduction at the moment. But it's only 20% attack, 20 attack speed. Oh, it's 40 actually. It's at 40. You want to make sure you get on top of the shard integrity out of combat, because if it gets too low, you won't be able to place them on the board, and therefore you won't be able to actually use the shard integrity consumable while in combat. Out of flint cap, I think this might be our 12th run if we exclude the loss. So we'll check back in on the experience after this run. Resist, but no damage multipliers. Oh, they've got the 60% there, but yeah, I'd love to look back at that one we lost, see why we lost it. You'll be able to tell on the video, but I'm assuming it's hyper and maybe the encounter mods. And possibly CC as well. If the Gyros and Mega gets CC'd, it can be interrupted, and you can see here I'm getting CC'd quite a bit, which is making a difference. Both on the Umbra and the Gyro, but the team's obviously not just strong enough for it to have any meaning, but that's probably what happened in the other one. CC, hyper, encounter mods. Quick check-in after 12 encounters, 13 if we include the one we lost. We're on 9,300 per Illuvial, is about 56,500. We need close to 58,000. So we'll need one more encounter. We're not going to have flint cap, but we're not going to need the flint cap. So that run I didn't have full flint cap, so if we had the full flint cap there, we would have done it after 12. 13 if we include the one we lost. And you can see how much energy we still have left. Even without the flint cap, you could just halve what I'm doing now, because the flint cap effectively doubles the experience. But if you have all these without flint cap, it's still fairly quick. Just half as quick as I'm doing it, but this is all in one run. So didn't have flint cap, I would have effectively gained 25k to 30k experience in this run, cumulatively on the Scarabocks, which isn't bad at all. Now you would have had to use a lot of ring nut, but you're also going to leave the region and come back. You're probably not going to do purely encounters, you're going to scan and farm at the same time. It gives you an idea of how quick leveling can be. Right, the final encounter, we'll just spam some pure damage and we'll see how quickly we can destroy this team. Hits max pure damage on the front line. I think we've proven how good Slayer is. Let's just have a bit of fun with that. We'll check out the damage charts. You'll see the white damage is all the pure damage. I should have given it to my Slayers as well. But I'd say that's the third best consumable after the tank one and the flint cap. Sorry, not the flint cap, the gumbo drops. We're at 9,700. Let's jump out and fuse all these all the way to a Titanor. Should be enough. Alright, we'll fuse those three together. Interestingly, it costs Solon now to fuse. The utility to Solon. I believe Solon is also needed for master shards now. So there's our 3 Goliaths we just fused. I do have another one that I'd leveled previously. And there's our Titanor. in probably half an encounter. Half a run, I should say. So 12 encounters, max flint cap, carrying them with 2 slayers and using, yeah, max flint cap on 6 of them. So pretty quick overall, and you can farm the flint cap while you're doing shard farming. Not sure if it's the most efficient way, but maybe a mix of flint caps when you have them, but definitely fitting in as many tier 5 Illuvials as you can with those slayers. But remember, if you are new to the game and you don't have a gyro yet, feel free to link your wallet down below and I'll send you one if I have any left. And if you got anything out of this and you appreciate it, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.